We started a conversation yesterday about the road safety issues that we need to think about, particularly ahead of Easter weekend. And I'm going to read you a tweet that was posted on social media yesterday by one user called at Big Daddy Liberty. His name is Sihle Ngobese, and I quote from it now. "My heart is so broken. Just helped two brothers who stumbled out of a mangled car after they were in a head-on collision with a Superlink truck on the N5 to Senegal. I didn't see the accident, but it was no more than a minute after I arrived. What broke my heart was seeing everybody else just drive on and not stop to help. Why? I've called emergency services and flagged down an ambulance and now had to physically fetch South African police in Senegal after unsuccessfully calling them 3 times via 112. Oh Lord, Father in heaven, I pray to you for the healing of these two men. I pray that you help me if I were ever in a time of need like that. I'm in such a bad state now. Aish." Minister Barbara Creecy is the Minister of Transport and joins us now to talk about campaigns to make sure that our roads are safer this Easter holiday. Minister, always a pleasure to chat to you. Good morning again.
Good morning, Bongani, and greetings to your listeners.
One of the things that I battle with is how much many of us as South Africans don't take enough accountability for our own actions as road users. I asked the question yesterday, why is it that adults still need to be convinced to put on seatbelts? Why is it that we have to warn people of the dangers of crossing highways as pedestrians? Why is it that many of us probably avoid driving under the influence, not because we're worried about road safety, but we're worried about being caught by the Metro Police? I can go on and give a litany of other examples. Where are our annual campaigns around road safety failing the culture that needs to adopt this as a priority?
Bongani, I think that is precisely why the theme for this year's campaign is It Begins With Me. Because our primary focus on messaging is that it's the responsibility for each and every one of us to promote greater safety on the roads. And in addition to trying to make sure that we have law enforcement officers patrolling our major routes, we are also doing massive public education around road safety. I'm not sure why it's necessary, but it seems that normally responsible people, when they get behind the wheel of a car, they do strange things. And I think that we do have to continually hammer home the message that second when you take a call or you text, you are distracted, and the consequences can be too horrific for yourself and your family.
What other high-risk behaviors do you think need to be highlighted so that we start having different conversations? If I'm a passenger in your vehicle and you're engaging in this behavior, I can maybe call you out. What are these things that we need to talk about that are obvious but nonetheless being ignored?
Well, let's start with this weekend. There's going to be rain, lots of it. So when it's raining, reduce speed. The roads are slippery, and your chances of being able to stop in an emergency are reduced. Secondly, fatigue. It's very important to get to your destination. It's also important to get to your destination alive. So stop every 2 hours and deal with fatigue and also stress. It's stressful to drive on our roads, and I think that the accumulation of stress creates anger, and that also results in aggressive behavior that is dangerous. My big issue is children must be put in car seats. We have virtually an epidemic of child brain damage in our country as a result of children hitting windscreens and dashboards in accidents that would otherwise not necessarily be serious. Even a fender basher with a child that's not in a seatbelt can result in a permanent head injury. That I think is really important. Babies have to be put in proper car seats. A baby just becomes a missile in an accident. What else can I think about? I mean, obviously, please don't get behind a wheel after you have been drinking. Even one drink tends to make you feel that you are invincible, and that's not a good feeling if you have to take responsibility on our roads.
Last year, we lost 236 lives at Easter. I mean, I don't even know how to frame a question about what might be acceptable this year, if you know what I mean. Obviously, one death is too many, but we need to bring that number down.
Our target for 2030 is to halve the road accidents and the fatalities in our country. But when you put it like that, it's horrible, because what we know is those are families who are going to have to bury primarily young people in the prime of their lives. And I just think that these deaths are avoidable. They require all of us to behave more responsibly. And I really hope that our message is getting through.
Appreciate your time. Minister of Transport, Barbara Creecy.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.